Hi, everybody. I'm just going to put up a quick video to talk about the grade contract and the report that you're going to give, which is actually all much more intense sounding than it actually is. The basic principle of the grade contract, and many of you have had me before, so I apologize if this is rehashing it, but, the basic principle is that if you do the work that's being asked, if you've submitted everything that was asked for in a timely fashion, you have a C. Just by virtue of the work that you've done. There's no evaluation involved there. Like that is the fair deal that the contract represents. And then on top of that, but of course, most of you are not happy with the C. So what the grade contract is asking you to do is to make the case for your own work that you have done work that excels. And this is why, and I hate using the word excellence because it's so, in this class about linguistics, you want to talk about a word that has had its connotative meaning twisted over the years by corporate trainings, right? But I mean excellence here in the most literal sense, that your work has excelled expectations in what is being asked for. And you can do that by arguing that you have at least one of the assessment criteria applicable for each of the assignments. That gives you a B. And if you have excelled in at least two of the assessment criteria for each of the assignments, then you can claim that you have had an A. You can also argue for an A by showing that you've basically done B work. You have at least one assessment criteria in all the other assignments, and have at least three assessment criteria for one of the major assignments. And so this would be the audiovisual project for undergraduates, or the annotated bibliography for graduate students. And to be clear, the annotated bibliography is not due yet. So you're not going to be talking about that one for the midterm grade contract report, which is essentially what this is. So what do I mean by the assessment criteria? Well, there are three in this class, and I've actually whittled these down for those of you who've had me in the past. There are just three big assessment criteria, and they are content, form, and critical thinking. And for content, and remember now, these apply to, we'll be looking at the report shortly, but they apply to everything that you've done. The only place where the distinction between major and minor assignments comes in is where if you're claiming that, for the major assignment that you put all of your effort into that. That's the only distinction that it makes. You can claim excellence in assessment criteria for any of the work that you've submitted for the class. So that includes the Discord post, it includes the end of week reflections, or whatever form that takes, either the essay or additional Discord posts. Content is basically exhibiting knowledge. Just if you've already known a lot about this, and you're basically helping other students by introducing them to the knowledge that you already have. And I've already seen a lot of this happening in the Discord posts, or even a handful of you have been linking to sources, and that's research. And so that would all fall under the content category. Form is rhetorical awareness and technical proficiency. This is most applicable, I think, to the audiovisual assignment. But if you feel like your Discord posts have been particularly well written, in some way, that they flow really well, that they make good use of internet slang for Discord posts, you could certainly make that argument. And then critical thinking is really where, this is one where I think, if you're already familiar with not just sort of knowledge, like facts, but theoretical or critical frameworks that you're making reference to in Discord posts or the audiovisual project, or any of the essays that you might be submitting, if you're linking those materials to outside social and political contexts, I think critical thinking is also the place where, if you're making sort of really meaningful connections to your own personal experiences, that I see as being an instance of critical thinking. So these are the assessment criteria that then I'm going to jump over to the grade contract report. What you see going on here, so here's everything that's actually going to be due by the end of the semester. So again, grad students, you will not be talking about the annotated bibliography in this first grade contract report. And indeed, I will be posting another video about the annotated bibliography later this week. So basically, everybody's going to be talking about the Discord post. Further reflection, which remember is going to be referencing either your responses to your classmates or if you've done the end of week essays. That's what the further reflection would be about there. And then I also want you looking back on your first audio video projects. That's going to be the only major assignment that everybody's going to be talking about. So for the explanation, this is where you are tying it to, I'm going to do these in reverse order here. For the explanation, this is where you're specifically saying these are the assessment criteria that I see as being applicable to, whichever assignment you're talking about. So you're claiming excellence on it. And remember, you only need 2 of these for each assignment for an A. You only need 1 if you're claiming it for a B. And then once you've done that, provide your evidence. And this doesn't have to be extensive, you all. You'll notice the table format that I provided here. I don't want to have to necessarily look at a lot of this. What you can do is either reference a particular date and time, like a timestamp for a Discord post, or just cut and paste a quote that you think shows evidence of what you're talking about. And then in the explanation, say that I think that this evidence exhibits, this assessment criterion, and here's why. So it is not meant to be overburdening. You just kind of go through and fill out the table. But, I do want you sort of looking back. It's a moment where you sort of look back and look at the work that you've done already in the class and sort of talk about what you've done that you've been proud of, that you've been happy with. And I think I might stop there and just say that, again, for those of you who have had me in class, this is supposed to be rigged. It is up to you to decide which criteria are applicable to which assignment, like what you think it is that you've been doing really well. But above all, it's just what I love about the grade contract format is it sort of flips the script by saying that rather than me giving you back negative feedback to justify any grade that's lower than an A, I want you to tell me what you think you've been doing really well in the class. I mean, at its heart, if you do that in the grade contract report, then you're doing it absolutely correctly. The nice thing about the midterm is that, so what's going to happen is I'm going to accept these. I'll look at them over the weekend, and then grades are due Monday afternoon. And so I might reach out to folks if I see any big disagreements with what people are saying about the grade that they're claiming. By the way, this is almost always me trying to talk people up because I found that especially with upper level students, they tend to not give themselves the credit that they deserve. But beyond that, I'll just kind of take what you've said and then use that to submit your midterm grades for the summer session. We do that. And then beyond that, I'll give you all a little bit of feedback on the grade contract report just to let you know whether or not you've kind of got what was going on. Because then significantly, we'll be doing this again, and you'll be sort of hanging on to these and adding to them for the final grade for the class, of course. Always, if there's any questions or concerns about this, post them on Discord. That way we can talk about them together as a class. And I look forward to hearing you all bragging about your work.